You, Madam Toastmaster, what would you do if you encountered an injured wild animal in your backyard? This happened to me a couple years ago. It all started when I got home after a long day of work and I was exhausted. I had just flopped down on the couch when my dog Sandy started barking outside. This was not her normal woo woo. This was very aggressive barking, and she's not an aggressive dog. I sighed and dragged myself off the couch and went to the sliding glass door to look outside. Sandy is at the edge of the yard, barking towards the side yard of our house. I realized something's wrong, so I pad barefoot outside and walk towards the edge of the yard. I'm now able to see down the side yard, and there is a big brown bird bounding around, flapping its wings. My initial shock slowly wore off, and it dawned on me that this bird can't fly away. It's stuck in our yard. I quickly grabbed Sandy by the collar and tried to drag her inside. No easy feat. She's a 60-pound German Shepherd mix. Once I get her inside, I close the door and I go back to look down the side yard. Sure enough, the bird is still there, just standing in the corner at the back gate, just standing there. I gather my wits and I decide I need to call help. I look up animal control and give them a call and say, I think I have a hawk in my yard. They proceed to ask me several questions. Where do you live? And are you sure it's not a pigeon? I have to admit I was slightly insulted by the question, and I realized they must get a lot of weird callers. But really, most people can differentiate between a pigeon and a bird of prey. But I answered their questions, and they decide they're not the ones that can help me, suggest that I call the SPCA. Finally, I'm able to get someone at the SPCA who's willing to come to the house and help me out. She said she couldn't be there for at least an hour and said if I could find a box big enough that I should put it over the bird to help keep it calm. As I hung up the phone with her, my husband comes home. But he doesn't come home through the front door like normal because tomorrow is trash day. He goes to the side gates to take out the trash bins. He opens the gate and both him and the bird freak out. He comes running inside and I tell him, I know there's a situation in the side yard and help's on its way. I ask him, I'm like, we need to find a big box. And he's concerned about me trying to put it over the bird's head. And I said, you know, I've observed the bird when you were opening the door on it or when our dog was barking at it, and it actually seems relatively calm. I convinced him to let me try, and I walk down the side yard very slowly, box in hand, and I talk to it like I talk to my dog or my cat. I say, good bird, good birdie. You don't want to hurt me. No, it's because you're a good bird. And I creep closer and closer. And it's just looking at me, turning its head side to side to look at me with each eye. And I slowly lift the box up over its head and it let me do it. My husband watched in disbelief. He says, I cannot believe I'll let you do that. I said, and I admitted I was a bit surprised, but I think it was my sweet talking that did it. So after we waited for over an hour, the SPCA rescuer came and we showed her to our bird box. She slowly opens the lid and looks inside. And slightly surprised, she murmurs, it is a hawk. And with a heavy duty glove that went up to past her elbow, in one fell swoop, she reaches in the box, grabs the bird, brings it out, and flips it on its back. It was so fast. And with her ungloved hand, she starts feeling all over the bird, all over its wings. And amazingly, it let her do it without any retaliation. She couldn't find anything wrong with it immediately, but she decided to put it in her carrier and took it with her. Needless to say, this was a memorable evening for my family. And I want to let you know that I did call to see how my hawk friend was doing. And for some reason, they wouldn't tell me what was wrong with it, but they did tell me that they released it back in my neighborhood 2 weeks later. Madam Toastmaster,